Trump may be where you're headed on this hand, but because you have a forcing bid, you can delay that. And remember, this is one of those situations where you do not have to have a 6-card suit to rebid it. Remember, most of the time when we bid and rebid a suit, it's a 6-card suit with only very few exceptions. This is one of those exceptions because you are forced to bid, and you might still have a 5-3 spade fit. So when you have a 5th spade, you're normally going to rebid 2 spades, or if you had responded a heart, same thing. You get to rebid two of a major if you have 5. This also sort of suggests that you're at the weaker end, but you don't have to be super weak.
There is no other bid.
Right? And so when we look at the South
Look at
cards,
what her spades look like.
and partner reverses, South, are you saying at this point, okay, we're going to game? Even though the reverse is not 100% game forcing, don't you know that you're going to game somewhere? Because partner reverse, partner has 17 and you have 9, right? So on high cards alone, you know you belong in a game somewhere. It's just a matter of where. So, like I said, 2 spades is often one of your 2 kind of weakness signals, but you're not necessarily weak. You're still going to game. All right. Now, this is going to allow North with 3 spades to raise spades. However, North, you don't have spade support, right? So that's not really an option. So at this point, North, what do you want to do?
Well,
Do you have the 4th suit stopped?
yes.
We've bid 3 suits naturally. If you have a hard stopper, you better offer no trump because partner might not be able to bid no trump. And you actually have a double stopper. Ace Jack 10 is, when your ace covers the king or queen, that guarantees that you have not 1 but 2 stoppers in the heart suit. So now is the time to offer 2 no. Responder, if you had been extremely weak and responded on some crummy 5 or 6 count, could you pass 2 no? Yeah, you probably could. It's almost game forcing, but if you really responded with a bad hand, you might pass. But you're not going to, right? Because partner has at least 17 and you have 9, and partner has now said, yes, we can safely play no trump. And so now we'll just have South give North the bump to game, and here we are. So everybody did get to game, that was good, and everybody got to 3 no trump from the North, which was what we wanted.
With the 2 no trump, what should I have been?
After 2 no?
Club, yeah.
So when your auction went 1 club, 1 spade, 2 no?
No, yeah.
Well, since you have a 5th spade, you would still want to look for that fit, so you could use new minor forcing.
This is called gloating.
Okay.
Whatever.
Right? You would have a new minor suit available because partner didn't
No, I
reverse,
didn't.
right?
Yes, you did.
And remember, and again, this is similar auction, but
It's not
whenever we
gloating,
have a
it's
jump to
just
2
being
no
happy that you know what to do.
by the opener, responder, because if North didn't reverse, then they didn't bid diamonds, right? And there is a new minor suit available for the new minor forcing convention. So if opener did jump to 2 no, South, what we want to see you do is bid 3 diamonds as new minor forcing as a check back for 3 spades. And then play 3 no. So you can get to the same spot while still looking for a 5-3 fit. But this is your optimal auction right here. So is everybody comfortable with that bidding sequence?
The one in California.
As far as the play, and I assume a heart was led, 4th best lead from the unbid suit seems to be a pretty common lead. Turns out that like I said, declare is in no trouble at all on a heart lead, even though it is the natural lead on this hand. On your play, one of the things that you want to assess, because while dummy isn't maybe as weak as it could be, one of the things that you want to be looking at as you're playing the hand as well, what should my priorities be when I probably only have a couple of trips to dummy? So you might go to work and try and set up a couple of spade winners, right? Because dummy does have king, queen, jack, and if you can force out the ace, you could get a couple of spade winners. One thing you also need to do on this hand is you need to get that ace of diamonds out, right? Because dummy has jack and you have king, queen in your hand. And so if you want a couple of diamond winners, you need to force out the ace of diamonds. What you want to save for last on this hand is actually your club suit. because those are 5 winners and you have those all the time, right?
And it gives you transportation.
Yeah, the clubs can be taken anytime. So one of the things you want to look at here is, hey, I have limited dummy entries. Let's use them carefully. That queen of clubs is a dummy entry, right? So you don't want to spend that early. So what should you do if you get a heart lead and you win the opening lead? What should you do next? I would probably try to sneak a spade through, because you can afford to give up the lead, and and if the defense continues hearts, you're not going to be in too much trouble. So you could try and sneak a spade through. Now the thing is, when you lead a spade up, and let's say you lead a spade to the king and it gets ducked, which is possible. I don't think that West should be ducking here. I actually think it's 100% wrong to duck, but I saw that happen at one, if not a couple of the tables.
Why?
Does anybody know why is it wrong to duck the ace of spades on defense?
I wouldn't have. I would have probably ducked it too, but I guess
It would typically be ducked if it were onside,
Yeah.
right? If East had the ace of spades, they would play second hand low and duck, right? In that case, it's correct. Because if you fly up with your ace, what's going to happen? Declare's just going to play the deuce from dummy, right? What's really important that happens from a defensive standpoint? That ace needs to cover king, queen, or jack, right? Why? Because 10 and 9 and 8 are all out there for the defense. And 10 and 9 and 8 don't get promoted unless the ace covers another honor. So yes, it is correct if East has the ace of spades to duck when the spade is led up. Because now, and you saw that, so like Denise, you played a spade up to the king, right? And you won it. Okay, well, that's fine. You probably think the ace is onside, but you can't come back to your hand to lead up another spade because you don't have another spade, right? Excuse me. So at this stage, if you want to force out the ace, you have to play the big spade honor from dummy, and at that stage, now probably is going to get covered if it didn't get covered the first time, right? So the other thing is, so should you lead a spade up early? Remember, the other thing is that the jack of diamonds can be an entry to the dummy if the ace is onside, which it is. So if you lead a small diamond from your hand toward the jack, that's going to be a trip to dummy for you as well. One way or another, if you get 2 spades in the bank, which you did, you should now be done with spades. Don't lead any more spades, right?
Yeah.
The defense might duck once, they might duck twice, but you still are setting up spade losers for yourself if you play a third round. So at that stage, you probably just want to knock out the ace of diamonds. You can always come to 10 tricks on this hand. The defense can't hurt you. So you're probably going to lose a heart. The tricks that you absolutely have to lose are the king of hearts, the ace of diamonds, and the ace of spades, right? So.
But which one?
So I have
do
a
you
question
do?
about the bidding. If you were to take the spades, king, queen, jack, and turn those into hearts, and the 9, 7, 4
All right,
into
so
spades, you still have 5 spades. So you made it real obvious that I'm gonna rebid spades. But if I have 9, 7, 4, 5, 2 of spades, I still rebid the spades?
Yeah, because you could still have an 8-card fit.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. Remember, this is about finding. Our priority is still to find a major suit fit, and if you have a 5-3 major suit fit, even if responder's major is 5 cards to the nothing, who's to say the person reversing, who's known to have a big hand, doesn't have ace king third, and maybe you only have 1 trump loser if you have a fit there. So yeah, even if it's a bad major, we still want to learn.
I'm not clear on how West knows not to duck that first spade.
Why would it be right to duck?
Well, because you're seeing 2 more honors there, right? So if you don't
Right,
duck,
but either-
those are set up now.
Right, but like I said, on this hand, it doesn't hurt you to duck. But you're looking at ace 9 fourth, so that means, and the fact that when declare leads a spade up, if that spade is not the 10, you don't have the 10, because otherwise you should be playing the 10 and unblocking, right? Because one possible, we know North from the bidding that North does not have 3 spades, right? Or they would have supported their partner's spades.
True.
So they might have a singleton, they might have a doubleton. All right, if you have doubleton 10 to declare, you would better be playing the 10 first and getting that card unblocked, and then if it gets ducked, then play your second spade, right? When you play a small one, you probably don't have the 10. At this stage, West, if you can put the 10 in partner's hand and you have ace-9, then it does you absolutely no good to duck, and what you need to be doing is covering that spade honor. You don't get 9s or 10s promoted if you don't cover, right? Cover honor with an honor, that's why, right, when we see a finette, when we see declare play a queen and we have the king, you know, why do we cover? Why do we follow that old saying? Because we're gonna get a 10 or a 9 or something like that promoted, that if it's not in our hand, it might be in partner's hand where we can't see it, right? And if declare has the card, then it doesn't cost to cover it anyhow, right?
So if I know that declare has at most 2 spades, could have 2 spades, that's 2 leads over to the board. So don't I want to wait until she has no more spades to lead to the board in case
Nope.
that's her only so that's my thinking. That's
Why?
I know, okay, but
You held up twice.
I did. I wanted.
Why?
I didn't know you only had one.
Well,
Yeah.
even if I had 2, you should have taken it the second time. You let me get the king and the queen.
Well, you can always score 2 spades, right? Whether the ace covers the king or
Yeah,
queen or
right.
jack, you
Right.
have still promoted 2 cards. That's why I
Right.
said, once you have 2 spades in the bank, since your spots are no good, at that stage you abandon the spade suit and you go get the rest of your winners. Yeah.
I still don't understand why don't want her to get both spades if she has 2 out of her hand.
Okay, so the purpose of holding up an ace is typically to cut declare off from dummy. So if Marilyn led a spade to the king, and you decide not to win your ace, have you kept her from the dummy? No, you have not.
No.
She's already on the dummy, so she can play another spade. Does that make sense, if we phrase it that way? Yeah,
Yes.
you've accomplished nothing. The whole purpose of a hold-out play is to cut declare off from a hand that can't be reached. Now, I would be, after a club opening in a reverse, I would be thinking anyhow, looking at the queen of clubs, and you don't have the king or ace in your hand,
Yeah.
the declare is going to have another entry and another suit to the dummy anyhow. And for that matter, West, your diamonds are so bad that I think you have to look at the jack of diamonds and say, oh yeah, that's probably a... Now, declare doesn't know this, but you as a defender know this, right? If declare leads a small card to an honor and dummy and you can't cover it, that card's probably going to be an entry, right? So,
Now I'm sort of confused with Joanne. If you held up once and declare had 2 spades, you've kept
Some
it
things
from,
you just have to believe.
you've stopped it after one.
It's just hard for me to say, I'm gonna take that and then I'm gonna
So he
set this
couldn't
off.
get the queen jack.
And I know you got an entry there.
So if he leaves it, you hold up the first time, in case he has a doubleton, and then if he leads it again, you have your ace to stop it.
you do, but like I said, because you can get away with ducking
But you don't know
on
that
this
he had
hand.
entries. Yeah.
Huh? You can get away with ducking on this hand, but you should be covering, right? You have think about how the suit lies. You know, you have a lot of information. This is what you're looking at as a defender. Sitting over the dummy, you have, I don't remember all the spots. You have ace 9 XX, right? Dummy has king queen jack XX. All right. There's only 4 spades that you can't see, and the only spade of consequence that you can't see is the 10, right? So what's going on here, right? Well, maybe it's that, right? Maybe declare has 2 small and your partner has 10 doubleton. Or maybe declare has 10 doubleton and it's too small over here. But as we said, if that were the case, why wouldn't declare lead the 10 first to unblock the honor and then lead a small one next? So the way declare is playing the hand, when you see the 6 of spades, it sure looks like declare can't have the 10. We already said that declare can't have 3 spades, or they'd be playing in spades probably, right? So that's if the suit's 2-2, right? And then if it's this, and notice this is the same if it's 2-2, right? if partner did have 10, if partner has either 10 doubleton or 10 third, isn't your 9 a guaranteed winner? That spade suit is never coming in. Even if declare had the doubleton 10 and forgot to play it, they would have to overtake it if they didn't play it the first time to get to dummy, right? Otherwise, they're wasting a side entry to get to the board. Does that make sense? Can you see how your 9 is never not going to be a trick on this hand?
If they can get back into their hand, so eventually would they have to lead a spade from the board in order for that 9 to be good?
They would, but as we said, once declare gets 2 spades in the bank, then you're done with that suit. You're not continuing that suit.
The only other thing is when, whatever this person is, gets the ace, they could lead back the third
They
spade.
could.
And then they get 2 spades. They get the,
Well, yeah, yes and no. Take a look at the lie of the cards.
yeah.
You don't have to cover, right?
If you're,
Let's say, because
If
that
you
is what's gonna happen on this hand, right?
if you're east and have the ace, you don't have to cover. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so what we're saying is, and this is one of the reasons that it turns out to be safe for declare to go ahead and play spades twice. Okay, let's say you play 2 spades and they duck twice. That's what happened at our game.
That's what happened here.
Okay, and they say, okay, I'm done with the spade suit. Time to work on other suits. Because if I play another spade, now I'm setting up a spade winner for the defense. So you go to work on diamonds because you got to drive the ace of diamonds out, right? Okay, so east, you win the ace of diamonds. And now, because you know your partner started with, because remember on that second spade, declare had to pitch something, right? So now you know the exact spade position.
Did you pitch?
All right, so east, let's say you now play your 10 of spades. And what's left in dummy? The jack? Jack 5 deuce?
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay, so how about just not cover? Let the 10 win,
That's true. They only get 1 that way.
right?
Yeah.
And
If you take it with the ace.
and if
I'm
the
not
10 is
gonna take it.
overtaken by the ace, is the 9 a winner now?
She can never get back to you with it.
No, right?
You only get 1.
Right, so the defense can only get 1 spade. It could be the ace or the 10, conceivably, but they're only getting 1. They can't get both. So you're right. That's one. You're actually safe. Now the situation you would worry about on this hand is, if West has ace 10 9 4th or 5th, where everything is sitting over the dummy, and in that situation it would be 100% wrong to duck. So.
100%.
All right. Well, let's spend quite a bit of time on that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next